ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Kate Rabibis reporting from Brussels, Belgium. We bring you news reports from the United Kingdom and Europe. We have live reporters on standby ready to give their reports. For our headlines, UK rejects EU claims of vaccine blocking. Another 4 million BioNTech Pfizer vaccine doses for the EU over the next 2 weeks. And joining us today are live reporters from the UK and Europe. From London, we have Ashley Espirito. Hi, Ashley. What do you have for us today?
Okay, thank you for having me today. Well, it has been all over the news, trending everywhere, about the recent interview Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had with Oprah Winfrey. So I'll be talking about the many reactions, the tabloids, and the public. Back to you.
Then we have Janelle Kasuga tells us more on how UK celebrated International Women's Day. Then we have Catherine Arceo with a report about how riots steer Spain and cause material damages. From Greece, we are joined by Tristan Regino. Hi, Tristan. What do you have for us today?
We have a musical online evangelical mission.
Then from Belgium, we have Victoria Lopez and Maria Dausin. Hi, Maria. What do you have for us today?
Hello, Kate. Thanks for having me. Today I'll be reporting about one of the most beautiful railway stations, the Central Station of Belgium.
And to end the program, we have our view from our window taking place in Willy Brandt-Platz in Frankfurt am Main, Germany. And on our headlines. In UK, Britain on Wednesday empathetically rejected EU claims it had slapped a ban on COVID vaccine exports in the latest spat over supply since Brexit took full effect. European Council Chief Charles Michel had claimed London had imposed an outright ban on the export vaccines or vaccine components produced on their territory. But Prime Minister Boris Johnson hit back after government officials summoned a senior EU official for a meeting to set the record straight. Let me be clear, we have not blocked the export of single COVID-19 vaccine or vaccine components, he told the lawmakers in Parliament. This pandemic has put us all on the same side in the battle for global health. We oppose vaccine nationalism in all its form, Johnson stated. The EU argues that while 30% of the vaccines produced in the bloc have been exported, Britain has not published any data on how many vaccines produced on its soil have been sent overseas. Britain has only 2 factories which produce the AstraZeneca vaccine. The contract signed between the company and the British government gives priority to the domestic inoculation drive. Michel said he was shocked by accusations of vaccine nationalism against the EU after the introduction at the end of January of an export control mechanism for vaccines produced in the bloc. And in Europe, European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen announced on Wednesday that the EU will receive additional 4 million doses of BioNTech Pfizer vaccine doses before the end of March. The region wants to deliver these extra doses to affected border regions within the bloc to help ensure or restore free movement of goods and people. The new doses will be deployed in particular in border regions and will be made available for member states to buy in proportion to their population size. In the Tyrol region of Austria, as well as Nice and Moselle in France, Bolzano in Italy, and in some parts of Germany's Bavaria and Saxony regions, the European Commission chief stated that infections and hospitalizations are rising steeply. Von der Leyen highlighted that this move is the fruit of a quick and decisive action of the European Commission. She also added that restoring freedom of movement within the EU was key for the functioning of health systems and the single market. And now, time for a break. Please come back for ENI UK and Europe edition.
prevent the health risks from face-to-face and over-the-counter financial transactions, Filipinos are shifting to digital payments. This is aligned with the roadmap of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to convert at least 50% of the total transactions to digital channels and increase to 70% the number of Filipino adults who are paying or transacting in the formal financial system. In this episode, we will talk about accelerating financial inclusion and innovation.
Being able to leverage technology that already exists and can be customized to your needs is probably one of the biggest steps I can give these financial institutions, not just the small ones, but the big traditional banks.
Aradhna Sharma, Regional Sales Director of Advance AI, will also talk about digital transformation among banks and financial services players in this week's episode of Open for Business.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net25.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Kate Revibis. Interesting stories from around the UK this week. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan go on highly publicized interview. And joining us today on this topic is Ashley Espirito. Hello, Ashley.
Hello, Kate. Thank you. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan's tell-all interview went much further than expected, British media said Monday. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, as they are formally known, were interviewed by Oprah Winfrey as the dust settled on the broadcast on Sunday night. The Times newspaper had stated that the royal family were not expecting what they heard in the interview, and it was much bigger than they had expected. We were clearly expecting something pretty dramatic. I think it exceeded those expectations, royal expert Robert Hardman told AFP. The CBS interview was broadcasted in the US last Sunday, with it then airing on British TV the following day, with discussions dominating social media from early hours. Buckingham Palace now faced two very serious questions. First, Meghan's claim of racist comments about her baby's potential skin colour and that she received no support while having suicidal thoughts. Queen Elizabeth II was the only member of the royal family to emerge unscathed, wrote the Daily Telegraph. The interview eclipsed recent royal scandals, journalists and commentators said. Harry and Meghan used the show to set out a new narrative, the Times reported, and yet there was also criticism of the couple for giving the interview. Now let's listen in to what some of the public had to say.
So I feel like I completely understand that her and Harry would want to be away from, far away as that from possible, especially with Diana and stuff and the similar things that she went through. I guess there's a lot of obvious parallels to be drawn between Meghan Markle's situation and Princess Diana's. So I see why they'd want to get away from all of that.
Yeah.
Really, I think if they've gone, they should just go. They don't want to be in the public light. Stop promoting yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
It does certainly seem to be a contradiction in terms of stepping away from the limelight, but then seeking global interviews in terms.
Meanwhile, the decision to stop providing security to the couple, one of Harry's main grievances, isn't really a matter for the royal family, but one for the police, Robert Hardman continued to state to AFP. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you so much. So has the royal family made a public statement on the matter of this interview?
Yes, Kate. A few days after the interview had aired here in the UK, the palace had put up a statement on behalf of the Queen, which wrote, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much loved family members," the Queen wrote. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you again for joining us today, Ashley.
Thank you for having me today, Kate. I'm Ashley Spiritu, EBC London correspondent, and we live in interesting times.
Women in the UK get honored on a day dedicated to them. To give us some details, Janelle Kasuga has the report. Let's watch this.
Women around the globe are being celebrated for their remarkable achievements throughout the years. Celebrating the dedication in pursuing their passions, as well as making positive change for ordinary women everywhere are key. To mark the International Women's Day, let's take a moment to hear about some of the women who, in one way or another, have touched people's lives.
An inspirational woman for me would be Oprah Winfrey. She's an amazing woman and an amazing voice for the woman, an amazing voice for the whole world. I think the fact that she just doesn't have any filter and, she just speaks up her mind. She fights for human rights. She fights for women's rights. And she's, involved in every human project that you can think of.
A woman who I believe to be inspirational is Oprah Winfrey. She was also the first African American. Not only was she successful in her business, she has done a tremendous charity work as well, which I aspire to do.
An inspirational woman for me is Princess Diana. She brought love and compassion wherever she went and attention to issues that would have otherwise been ignored around the world. I remember seeing images of her walking through a landmine field with a bomb-proof vest and a visor on and just thinking how incredibly brave she was.
Inspirational woman, in my opinion, Emma Watson is. What made Emma Watson inspiring to me is the fact that her role has been focused on female empowerment, and of course, as well, she's also promoting education globally. So I think that's very important, and that's something the world needs right now. I think that's very inspiring for the world, and it's motivational, especially for all the women out there.
An inspiring woman for me would be Michelle Obama. She's inspiring because not only has she shown to be a very great leader, a great wife, and a great mother, she is also not afraid to share her views as long as it's something that she passionately believes in. And that for me is a good example of a modern woman.
Women's roles have changed in a sense that, they become more important, I guess, that they become more inspirational, more vocal, and I think with the help of social media, we have gained a lot of independence.
A woman's role in society has changed so much. We're no longer expected to stay at home and raise a family. We can have a job just the same as a man, if not, be the breadwinner in a family, and also choose not to have a family. But equally, we have the opportunities, and that's really important for me.
A modern-day woman is someone who is driven, strong, independent, not afraid to be herself, and someone who is always wanting to become the best in everything and always constantly growing.
A modern day woman, I believe, is a woman who creates change, who is living true to their values and their voice. A woman who's very independent, fearless, and lastly, passionate.
Independent, knowledgeable, powerful, open-minded, and overall just a nice human kind of beings.
A modern day woman today is one that seeks opportunity wherever she goes. She looks to empower others and raises, other women up around her and men, and we stand up for what's right. And that for me is what a modern day woman is.
I would like to greet every woman in the world. Happy Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
Reporting from London, United Kingdom, I'm Janelle Kasuga. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Janelle and our EBC UK Bureau for this report. Now time for a break. Please come back for more ENI UK and Europe edition.
Are an excellent performer. Grabe, napakahusay.
Napatunayan mo sarili mo na talagang kaya mong kumanta in front of the television.
The very best!
Magaling na coach ang forever mo.
Ito po ang Bagong Sinigaling Part 2 Singing Edition.
Alamat, handa.
Bigla ka na lumumalis, hindi ka na paalam. Girl, sanay noon palang agad mo nang inamin. Madali lang naman akong kausapin. Wala akong pake, hindi ka kawalan sa akin.
Sakita na yan, si Mo.
Yakoy dyan.
Ako si Kian, ini si Tomas.
Ako yung RG.
Si Valfer.
Si Gami.
Ako si Alas at kami ang Alamat! Abangan niyo po kami bilang guest performers sa Letters and Music.
Ngayong darating na Sabado, March 13, 1 to 2 p.m.
Siyempre, dito lang sa Net 25.
See you! Bigla ka na lang umalis, hindi ka na paalam. Siguro ang pag-ibig mo sa'kin ay pansamantala.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Kate Reviews. Interesting stories in Europe this week. Riots take place in Spain and affect businesses. Here's a report from Catherine Arceo. Let's watch this.
Riots are held in the center of Madrid after the imprisonment of rapper Pablo Hasél, and merchants and hoteliers are affected by the damage. After the pandemic, there are many hoteliers, merchants worried about the situation in which they live. Many have had to reduce their workforce and some have had to close their premises. Unfortunately, after the events of the demonstrations for the imprisonment of rapper Pablo Hasél, carried out in the heart of Madrid, Barcelona, and other Spanish cities, many businesses have been affected after the riots. Garbage cans, paving stones, street furniture have been burned. Many of the materials that the protesters have used to throw at the police. Even people have been arrested for lighting a patrol car in Barcelona, and the windows of many shops completely destroyed. All this raises the cost of damage caused by protesters in different cities in Spain. Reporting from Madrid, Spain, I am Catherine Arceo. We live in interesting times.
Thank you for bringing us this report, EBC Spain. The Iglesia ni Cristo Church of Christ holds an event that cheered up attendees from several Mediterranean countries. To give us the details, here's Tristan Regino. Hi, Tristan.
Members of the Iglesia ni Cristo Church of Christ in the countries of Azerbaijan, Israel, Turkey, Malta, Cyprus, and Greece conducted a week-long musical evangelical mission through video conferencing. They took part in singing original Iglesia ni Cristo music compositions and by inviting their friends and loved ones to listen to words coming from the Bible. We had the opportunity to interview the church's minister in charge of the region. Let's listen.
The Christian musical Evangelical mission, which was held here in the Ecclesiastical District of Mediterranean, gave a wonderful opportunity for the members to invite our friends and our loved ones to know more about the Iglesia ni Cristo Church of Christ. It sparked interest in our friends and our loved ones while they were listening to Christian music.
During this time of the pandemic, throughout many countries in the Mediterranean, holding this kind of activity helps bring happiness in the lives of not only the members of the Iglesia ni Cristo, but also their friends and family members. Performers from Malta, Cyprus, Israel, Turkey, and Greece showcase their talented voices by singing uplifting songs filled with joy. The songs were about how one can have a positive outlook in life, although there are hard times, encouraging one another to believe that better days will come. The songs were very timely as the world continues to struggle due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a way to enlighten the lives of performers and all attendees. Through their smiling faces, one could easily see how everyone had a great time because they were entertained and also learned the meaning of the songs through the words in the Bible.
Thank you, Tristan, for bringing us this story.
I am Tristan Molino, and we live in interesting times.
Let's now go to Antwerp and explore its main train station. Victoria Lopez shows us around. Let's take a look.
Being in the heart of Europe, Belgium has every reason to be confident in its cultural assets. We are in one of the most famous cities here in Belgium, Antwerp, which is not only recognized for its diamonds, but also for its breathtaking architecture. This railway station is the main station in the city of Antwerp, located by the Koningin Astridplein. It was built as a replacement for the first terminus of the Brussels-Mechelen-Antwerp Railway. The original terminal station building was constructed between 1895 and 1905. Alongside Louis de la Sancerie, who designed the stone-clad building, Jan van Esperen also played a significant role in the architecture as he designed the notable viaduct into the station. The station has 4 levels and 14 tracks since height was important for dissipating the smoke of steam locomotives. The originally iron and glass train hall, which is 185 meters long and 44 meters high, was designed by engineer Clément van Bogaert. It covers an area of 12,000 square meters. In 1998, a large-scale reconstruction work began to convert the station for high-speed trains. The major elements of the construct project were completed by 2007. This whole project costed approximately 1.6 billion euros and was awarded a prize at the European Union Prize for Cultural Heritage in 2011. Enjoy and take in the beautiful sights Antwerp City has to offer. Reporting from Antwerp, Belgium, I am Victoria Elenita Lopez, your EBC correspondent, and we live in interesting times.
And we are now joined by Maria Dausin, who also helped prepare this report. Hi, Maria.
Hello, Kate.
So, how does the architectural design of the central station compare to other stations in Belgium?
So what differentiates the central station from other railway stations is its design. Louis de la Sancerie was inspired to apply the eclecticism in its architecture, which is a combination of different historical streams. That is why this railway station is considered as one of the most beautiful railway stations in the world, named by many magazines. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you, Maria and Victoria, for this report.
Thank you, Kate, for having me. I'm reporting from Brussels, Belgium.
In today's view from our window, we go to Frankfurt am Main, Germany. The Willy Brandt-Platz is a central square located in the heart of the business district of Frankfurt am Main. Until 1992, it was called Theaterplatz, or Theater Square. Eventually, it was renamed after Willy Brandt, a former chancellor in Germany. Here, visitors can discover the opera and theater houses, the Euro Tower, which was the former European Central Bank, and the eye-catching Euro sign sculpture by Ottmar Höll. This view is courtesy of Nanette Catalan from our EBC Germany Bureau. Thank you for this view, Nanette. And that's it for today's program. Stay safe and keep positive as we bring more stories next week from the United Kingdom and Europe. I'm Kate Rebibis, and we live in interesting times.
Tunay na kaagapay sa pag-unlad.